By a show of hands, how many of you in the room have not left a tip to a waiter or waitress due to bad service? Almost everybody has. Why should someone deserve your hard-earned money if they can't even give you proper service? Chances are, either the server is having a bad day, or they don't care because they're being paid a high salary. This brings us to the topic of this speech, why tipped employees should be paid less than minimum wage. Tipping culture in the U.S. has been around for decades, and it is another source of income for people in fields where it is practiced. It is a token of gratitude from the buyer for their good service. However, that has changed. Now in our society, tipping is almost a requirement. Not leaving any for waitstaff is frowned upon and seen as rude, unless you've received bad service. Still, a healthy tip is an encouragement for quality service. This applies to all jobs that accept tipping, except when a high salary is present. An example, the minimum wage. Recently, minimum wage has been hiking up throughout the years to an entire $10.10 here in Connecticut. A full 40-hour work week can leave a person with a paycheck over $400, and jobs where tipping is accepted, they get more on top of that $400 from gratuity. Going back to a point made before, tipping is an effective encouragement for good service except when being paid a high salary. With such a large paycheck at the end of the week, any extra cash in the form of tips isn't necessary to the person. Therefore, quality drops due to not requiring this money for dependency, only as an extra. When paid less than minimum wage, the money becomes necessary for survival, requiring the employee to give good customer service, therefore creating customer return and more profit for the business and more tables filled for waiters to receive tips from. This, in the end, makes everyone wealthier and happier, both the customer and the business. To break this down further, tipping is even more profitable for those employees being that it is untaxed income. At least 40% of it is, at least that's what the IRS reports, leading to about $11 billion in untaxed income. That's a lot of money that goes directly to the tip staff without the government interfering, further proving the point. On the other side, cooks in some restaurants don't make any tips at all, and they do almost all the work. While minimum wage applies to cooks and not waiters, the people who do most of the work should earn a portion of this untaxed 100% for profit money. It is actually illegal to split tips with cooks, yet it is legal for waiters or bartenders to share tips with a dishwasher or a busboy. How many of you have received a subpar dish at a restaurant that just simply turns you off? A great solution to this problem would be using a portion of table tips as an encouragement to cooks to keep quality and standards high, making everybody happy. Another solution would be increased meal prices. A 3 or 4% increase in price would be almost unnoticeable, being that restaurant prices are very elastic, but would bring in thousands of extra dollars every year to pay off those staff members who can't receive tips or higher wages. To further this, a national survey found that many restaurants in America are short of cooks, and that the amount of people entering the culinary field is actually dropping. The only way to entice these people may be a higher salary or finding a way to allow them tips. Going back to waitstaff, there is another side of the argument. Some may say that by lowering waitstaff's wages below the national minimum may hurt them. With the unpredictability of tips, some nights waitstaff can go home with as little as $20 or as much as $200. However, a study finds that many waiters and waitresses can make up to $10 in tips per table depending on what restaurant that they work at, which is only 10 cents below Connecticut's minimum wage. Even with a $5 tip per table, if the employee waits 3 tables, that's $15 in a single hour, $5 more than Connecticut's minimum wage, and that's off of tips alone. To recap, tipped employees should be paid less than minimum wage. In a restaurant setting, by paying them less ensures good customer service, which creates customer return, more tables to wait and make tips off of, and profit for the business. It is a very simple equation that benefits everybody in the end. It will stop tearing restaurants apart with a tipping system that benefits only the waitstaff. Thank you.